Mrs. Doris Pack, are you satisfied with the amendments to the budget which made it possible to do more for the youth, especially perhaps those unemployed youth who are suffering at the moment?
I think this is not the topic of the program which has been passed yesterday, Erasmus+. Erasmus+ is a program for education, formation, non-formal and formal. On the other hand, I think we have a lot of instruments where we should tackle the unemployment of youth. And there are the big bosses who have met in Berlin and in France to speak on the 6 billion euro to tackle this problem. But it starts at the beginning of next year. This has nothing to do with our normal budget. It is in plus, so to say, and I think it's good. It's well thought. I hope it will be well done. But
why I dare to ask you this way is because, of course, many of the young people who now by Rasmus Program are able to travel around in Europe, and this has been improved, this possibility. They are at the same time perhaps doing so in order to find a job.
Yeah, I think the Erasmus+ program is a program which includes all the education and formation programs and youth programs we had before. It has the name Erasmus+ because it is Erasmus for students and all the other parts which have been working so well since '94, when we started for the first time having a chance to speak and work directly on education. I think Erasmus for students, as well as the Leonardo program for apprentices, is very important that young people have a chance to understand other cultures, that they have an intercultural experience, that they learn languages, that they now, if they go with the youth voluntary service, European Youth Voluntary Service, if they go with this somewhere, that they at least find out what they are, what they can, what they should do because of their capacities, which they have to find out. Because if you have been in school and directly in studies, it's very difficult sometimes to find out what is really in your capacity, in your interest. So I think we have a lot of possibilities to give youth a chance to find out who they are and what they can do. And therefore I think this program, the whole program, which has been improved in this time of cutting, has improved on 40%. I think that is a quite achievement. And
more than 14 billion euro are available until 2020.
14.7 billion euro. I think this is a great achievement, and I think this shows that at least our political leaders have understood that education is needed, otherwise you will never get employability. So.
But you also at a press meeting stated that there are almost 7 million young people within the Euro framework without job.
Yeah.
And there are 2 million jobs available.
Yeah.
Can't you make sure that those who are traveling around and finding a nice study are linked to those empty jobs?
I think this is also one of the objectives of this program, that we combine studies with business, that we cooperate, that we open the eyes for business and for universities. It means people living there, working there, and try to find a job. That they can find a way out of their unemployability, employment. So it is okay. It is not the tool to tackle the actual situation. It is a tool which should hinder such things happening in the future. So I think a lot of young people taking Spanish. I think these people, young Spanish people, they are lacking languages. They have no idea how to behave outside of their country. So if we give them more chances from the early beginning in school and in university and even with the voluntary service, if they have a chance to find out how is life outside of Spain or outside of Italy, they have perhaps more, they have more input, and they dare at least to make this big step in another country. Not for example, yesterday I was asked, but you are supporting the brain drain. That's not true. We are giving a chance for a lot of people, and if they have had a job outside of their country, and the country is moving forward with the help of the Union, as we have seen, then I think they can go back. But in between, they should not stay at home and waiting for what? They have to do something themselves, they have to make the steps. Sometimes it is hard, but I think even with these programs we can help them. But once again, it is not a program against this actual situation. It is a program, it looks much more in the future.
And let me finalize by asking you, you were very proud that due to the Lisbon Treaty, it's possible to support sports.
Yeah.
In which way? You were talking about fighting racism via sport. Could you elaborate a little bit?
That is really, there are the sport activities of the associations and of other organizations, not only sport associations, but other associations which are using sport. I just give one example. It's the street football world. It's an activity which is working all over Europe, even in Asia and even in Africa. I have seen them in South Africa. They use football to bring people from the street to play football, to learn what it means fair, to be fair, to respect each other, to tolerate each other, not only tolerate, respect each other. And that they, via football, they bring them in to understand that perhaps the school is not so bad. They have to go to school. They understand it more and more. If they are taken from the street, if they are with the school workers, business workers, or street workers, if they are really, how to say, they feel at home and they get an input, they get this empathy for other things. Not only staying on the street and waiting that it's not raining. So I think this is really great. The street football world is working very well. And I have to tell you, the European Union, asked by the Parliament, has supported this street football world activities as other activities. I just took this because I think it is very important. I know it very well. So I think sport has ever been cross-bordering, and it was never mentioned in the Lisbon Treaty, in the treaties, never. And I made the first report on sport in '95, and I asked in this report three things. Two things have been fulfilled. We had a year of sport, we had a task force in the Commission, and the third thing was bring it at least in the treaty. And it came from '96 until Lisbon Treaty, and now we have it even with a little sum. 1.8 million is not
but still,
the world.
there is something.
But there is something
to work with.
And especially also to support a little bit special events which have not so big sponsors. For example, Special Olympics, which is really something which has to be supported, and I think we are giving little money for this.
Which is not to be confused with the...
No, it's not Paralympics.
Exactly.
The Paralympics is like, has big sponsors and so on, but the Special Olympics is something which is it's touching very much, and it is helpful for these people find their place and their respect in this in society. I think I'm fully supporting this, and the Parliament has put it in the agenda.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that is it.
Thank you.
Thank you.